Bring that back. You heard it?
Bring it
It
back.
didn't sound, yeah, because I didn't hear anything before. I was faking the funk.
For real?
Yeah.
Can you hear it now?
Now I can hear it perfectly. All right, so ready? Bring it back. And then
all right, ready?
Yeah, one.
Ain't no back and forth, ain't no left or right. I got King's disease, but I move like a knight.
21.
This bandwagon trying to get some light. I do it for the fam, never for the hype. When you turn a legend, no such thing as relevance. They must have forgot that I'm a new rapper, they got integrity. All in the media and blog.
Boy went in.
Most of these niggas wouldn't say shit if they was ahead of me. No back and forth, I did it back then, I do it right now. I open a lane for my era, I'm that they gave me the crown. Go with all the success from negative press, I'm watching it pound. They saying that black means you die, and I'm saying
Nas went in. Son.
me now, damn, y'all, look at me now. Whatever I do is in why I'm keeping it Queens, cause that's my side. I shook up the town, I shook up the city, I shook up the state. I went 21 on my second run, that shook up with age.
So, tell everybody how this collabo came. Anyway, by the way, welcome back.
Word up.
We're here for the holiday special.
Word.
OSNV. We haven't done an episode in like 6 months.
It's this shit called life. The shit called life be happening and stuff. But yeah, man.
Yeah,
good. That's a dope song. We can segue. Go ahead.
Dropping a surprise holiday special for y'all.
Word up.
And then we'll be back next year with more shit. But so how did this collabo with Nas and 20? Because 21 said something about that Nas ain't relevant, shit like that, right? And it made the waves.
Yo, these sound bites are fucking crazy, right? So I did hear it, and you know, if you just capture a little soundbite, it's definitely gonna sound like, you know, a little, or like not that he's shitting on him, but like he's almost disregarding them, you know. But when you hear more of the context, they were just talking about who's like hot right now. And there's a difference why you got like that when you have those lists, right? Those yearly lists, you got who's the hottest rapper and then who's the best rapper. You know what I mean? There's two different things, because you can have somebody like, and say, who if you're gonna say right now who's the best rapper, who are you gonna say? Like Jay-Z or Nas type shit, right? Or Drake, right? But
Black Thought.
But like, or facts, right? But and that's the difference. See, Black Thought will be more of a who's the best rapper as opposed to who's the hottest rapper. You know what I mean? So it was a little bit more of that conversation. And then 21 was like, you know, he's not relevant. And again, it all depends on your interpretation of what he's saying, you know? He followed it up by explaining the next day, I didn't really say it like that. But anyway, I love that instead of it getting messy, you know what I mean? And not that, you're going to kick that conscious shit or whatever, but it's beautiful to see that, you know what I mean? To see that something that could have went totally left, you know, and we've had too much of that, man, especially recently, you know, RP, Takeoff, RPP, and B-Rock. But so it was dope. And then to hear Nas, one of my favorite, if not my favorite artists, and then go in. Yeah, the beat was, okay, Hit Boy is not your most flattering piece of art. Still dope, definitely. But how you feel about it, man?
It's a nice record. I like it. I think it's pretty dope. Salute. Just sipping on some juice, man.
You know, some whiskey. What kind of juice is that?
Pomegranate.
But yeah, man, that soundbites be crazy. But the Nas shit, that shit is dope. And I love that it's so fresh and so new, like spur of the moment. You know, Nas is usually someone that kind of curates his music and takes a little minute before shit pop off. But he's been in the kitchen cooking. He dished out a few albums, Kings 1, 2, 3, Kings Disease 1, 2, 3, and that Magic album.
I wonder why he didn't just call the Magic album King's Disease 3. Like, why did he just do that in between?
Yeah, that's a question for Nas and shit. But when we have him on the record, when we have him up on an interview and shit.
Yeah. So you are. Are you active on Twitter? What you think of the whole Elon Musk shit?
You know what? That's I don't know. I gotta think about that one for a minute, man, because in this
Shit is
point of the
crazy.
game,
Twitter's
in
crazy
this
right now.
son, in this point of the game, I don't. The more it gets crazier, right? So when it gets crazier, it kind of forces you to have to attach to a side, right? And sometimes they make it easy for you to choose a side. Sometimes they don't, because the objective is to not be attached to any side. But with this technology kind of reverse psychologies you into choosing a side, and the side is the side that doesn't choose sides. You know what I mean? Like, there's always a way to kind of draw you into this rabbit hole. And that's where we at right now. Cause I'm not surprised with shit. Like, I'm like, what the fuck? This
That's
is really
deep.
happening right now. You know what I mean? Like, so
they're dropping a lot of gems, a lot of rabbit hole shit too.
And one thing I do, well, I actually don't appreciate, right? Because coming to think about it, I was gonna say that it kind of levels out the playing field to try to get certified with the blue check shit, right? And in a way, I know a lot of people who get paid off of that anyway. So it's like that kind of fucked up their hustle too. But at the same time, now it does on an entrepreneur kind of level. It does even the playing
Well,
field out.
they took that off the shelf. They're working out some glitches. They're working out some shit first, I think, and then they're gonna relaunch it. You know?
Yeah, they need to. They need to.
Well, they're getting rid of all the bots and all that spam accounts and all that shit. They're trying to streamline and get rid of.
They
all
need
of
to do that with fucking everything, because you know when you on your stories and shit, and you look at, I'm like, what the fuck? Who are these people like watching this? And it's crazy. Like, there's definitely not somebody, you know.
Yeah, bots and all of that.
Yeah,
I'm just laughing.
Shit, bro.
I'm just laughing at like how a lot of celebrities and politicians are like up in arms, and they're all fucking got their panties in a bunch because this guy buys Twitter, but they don't they don't blink an eye to like Mark Zuckerberg. You know what I'm saying? He basically owns Meta, he owns Instagram, Facebook, and all that. I guess it's like selective, you know what I mean? Selective anger to whoever you don't agree with their, point of view on shit and stuff like that. It's kind of like you can see the hypocrisy, with some people. But we'll see how this goes, man. They've been releasing a lot of shit on there that was banned. Like people on a certain group see
You
it
sent
as
me that. You sent me that.
yeah,
Oh, that was crazy. Yeah.
but not just that, like they see it as like, okay, so like a lot of the stuff that was being censored and banned that you couldn't see especially during, the pandemic past couple years. Now it's coming to light now, things like that. It's like you got to take everything with a grain of salt and make your own conclusion. But when they start censoring shit and not, just blocking you from seeing it and immediately marking it as misinformation, disinformation, that's when it's a slippery slope, because like, you have to make the decision for yourself. They can't just censor everything just because it doesn't agree with the main narrative. You know what I mean?
This is like the combos that they're throwing at it. This is like our obstacle, right? So it's like if we look at a vision board or a map, right? This is what's immediately in front of us. We have to deal with these kind of obstacles before we can tackle any other bigger ones, right? Some of the bigger ones or some of the questions to ask are, you got like Elon Musk, right? Or you said Zuckerberg, how with the Meta. These are all people, right? Who are, as of right now, they almost look like they're at odds, right? Like Twitter and Apple and all these big chess pieces, right? But those are all pieces being moved by bigger powers. You know what I mean? And the bigger powers are using them as chess pieces. Whether or not they know they are involved, that is beyond our comprehension. But
Mhm.
when you do the paper trail and to go to the root cause, you see as these bigger companies, the finance companies and the banks that own the money behind all of these people. The same way how, and you know, eventually who's going to bring up Ye, but how Ye talks about, you know, and
But that's I'm sorry to
so-called.
I'm sorry to interrupt. We'll get into I know we got to talk
But
about
no,
Ye.
yes. But what I was trying to get into is like, okay, so those pieces, those powers, the people that pretty much supply the money for everyone, those are the ones that own these bigger pieces who look to be at odds. But again, if you look at who's their parent company, how can they really be at odds? It's like it bugs you out when you see Coke or like a lot of those soda brands, but they're all owned by like Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? Like
there's a hierarchy,
it's like
we'll get into the whole Balenciaga thing. But what I wanted to say is that in the case of Twitter, it's owned by him. Like he owns it. There's no parent company. There's no it's a private company.
He owns like 50% of it, right? Or 50.
He owns the majority share, but it's a
Yeah.
private company now. Like you can't buy like Joe Schmo, like me and you can't buy shares of Twitter anymore.
Yeah.
Or eventually it's a private company.
When you do the root cause on where's the other money? Where's the other side of the money?
He gets to decide.
Yeah, he's the
You know what I'm
chairman.
saying?
Like, you know,
Yeah.
he's the ones that
He gets to decide what direction the company goes.
Again, I'll keep telling y'all forever, movement is medicine. That's the stress reliever. You have the key things to have as many stress management activities as possible. And that'll help you sustain. You'll be surprised. It's not about having the answers to solve your problems. It's about how to condition your body and your mind to be okay to just deal with whatever is going on. And this is about like things like yoga, martial arts, right? All of that. When you're so immersed into these practices, because whether you're in a yoga pose holding in fucking 115 degrees, or you're on the mat and you're fucking upside down and you're trying to breathe, your mind is only focused on this space. So whatever was occupying you on, or just lingering on your mind and can't get out of it during this time, it's gone. So you're opening up space for opportunity for something new to be introduced in this time. Because 9 times out of 10, when you like have a test, if you look in hindsight, oh man, I knew the answer, I did this or I did that. It's just being in the moment of pressure. It didn't allow you to think properly. You know, you needed that space. So when you create this space mentally, physically, it allows you to think properly. And 9.9 times out of the times you'll fucking get it right. You know what I mean? If just given that leeway.
Oh, did you see they dropped a new trailer? They dropped a bunch of new trailers. The Transformers shit.
I knew he was gonna say that.
Beast
bro.
Wars.
They took it left field. They took I don't even know where they at with it right now. They got all the Optimus Primes. Fuck it. But that shit looks crazy.
Do you remember Beast Wars back in the day?
Yeah, man. Of course. I love it. But
so they're mixing it with the regular Transformers.
Well,
Beast Wars.
Did you see that on Netflix? They have the Kingdom. They got the
no.
Oh man, what this movie is gonna show. They have a season on it already.
Okay.
On Netflix, it came out a few months ago, like early in the year.
They did a Beast Wars too.
Beast Wars, and it introduced Optimus Prime in it.
Okay.
It had all of them. Like it is. I think the movie's gonna be based off of that a lot.
Well, I think it's like a prequel or a sequel to Bumblebee. It's connected somehow to Bumblebee.
They be fucking Bumblebee up, bro. You see how he is right now? He's all corny and shit.
But like it's not connected to the Michael Bay Transformers. I'm just lost. But it looks good though. It looks good.
So when you
and it's like back in the 80s too, or 80s or 90s.
You know, when you from my era, bro, we just happy to see this shit on the silver screen, huh? We're like, what the fuck? This shit is amazing. Like, even when shit be corny, like how they fucking just did Green Lantern dirty, right? But this shit is still That shit was still hype for me. You know what I mean? I still loved it.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward. Speaking of Green Lantern, they're gonna revamp Green Lantern. He's gonna have his own HBO series, right? Coming out.
Green Lantern Corps.
Yeah, it's
Like
gonna
a
be
bunch of them.
dope.
They just
That's
did
gonna be
another.
dope.
They did a new Green Lantern animated movie.
Yeah,
on
that shit was
HBO.
fire. That shit was
Yeah.
dope. You know what's funny
HBO
that
Max.
I forgot his name on there, but in the anime, there's this anime. I think it's called War or Apocalypse.
Yeah, I saw
Apocalypse
that. I
War.
saw those. I saw
You
those.
remember? They did
They
your boy
bodied everybody.
dirty.
Yeah.
And the same dude who they right now gallivanting on fucking HBO, the movie, they ripped him in half. So that shit was dope. But
and they're gonna do Superman's coming back.
Yeah, that's gonna
Nobody
be
saw
dope,
him.
man.
He showed up in the post credit of Black Adam.
Black Adam was, man. That's probably I'm team Black Adam right now, son. I don't know. I feel like I gotta say pause.
It didn't do good at the box office though. Like it didn't like.
You know why? Because all right, and this is not to get all Illuminati-ish, right?
The movie was good, but it could have been better.
Well, it's better than a lot of other.
But it's better than a lot of shit.
A lot of shit, right? But this is the thing, right? Back to this Illuminati shit.
Okay.
The Rock, has a big piece in this movie. This was like 15 years in the making, bro. Right?
Yeah, I know. He's been trying to do this for a minute.
He's been really invested in this. So I think his out of his own money, he has a big stake in this, right?
Yeah.
So it's probably owned the jar. He's getting a big portion of that. When Hollywood has all these other side independent artists trying to rake in some of that million, they don't. I always see those movies not do well in the polls. You know what I mean? They did the same shit to that song. The Gotti shit. Remember we had a song on the soundtrack, and bro, this is another song. And look, you had John Travolta in there, but they owned the movie. Like the Gottis owned that shit, son. And they had, they had John Travolta and his wife.
I mean, that Gotti movie got really bad reviews.
Super bad reviews, but this is what I'm trying to say, because they're independent. Hollywood doesn't like that. It's funny because, funny story, we were in the studio with him and I felt like I was in a scene in a movie, because you hear John Gotti Jr. in there wilding out. These fucking guys, I threw him a beat, they because you're not. And I said, all you see is their hands waving and your mother this and all of that. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm in a fucking real Goodfellas movie right now. And it was super upset at Rotten Tomatoes,
Rotten Tomatoes?
Rotten Tomatoes.
So yeah, speaking of movies, there's a lot of new movies coming out. They just dropped the trailer for Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Did you see that holiday shit? That shit was funny, right?
I saw the holiday shit. I think there's gonna be a connection from some of the things that happened in that to the movie. Then aside from that, what else is coming? That new Avatar shit is coming out.
Yeah, Life of the Water.
What do you think about that though? I think he waited too long to put this out. This new Avatar movie. I don't feel the hype for it.
You know what? To be honest, it's a fascinating movie in concept. Shit is mind blowing. I 100% believe we're avatars of God. You know what I mean? Where God is avatar.
So you're gonna get deep with it?
You know what I mean? Yeah. Pause. But even the first one, it was cool. It was like okay, it was dope. It was all right. It was dope.
And he's planning to do like 4 or 5 of these ones now.
Yeah. Again, it's dope. I'm definitely worth paying attention, but I don't know if it drives that demand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's super popular. Yeah, it's dope. It's popular, but I don't think nobody's gonna be like, yeah, I'm gonna set up a tent to go catch the fucking first.
So here's what I've been hearing about this, because I think they said that they need to make $2 billion at the box office for it to break even. So they're putting a lot of money into this.
So
what happens if there's not a big turnout? They're gonna lose a lot of money on this shit if it doesn't recoup. You know what I mean? Like what they put into marketing it, making it, filming.
I think that's more, the majority of it went into making it, right? So when you have even things that are super successful, but it requires like actual a lot of labor behind the scenes to create it, that's where it gets complicated, because you got Dragon Ball Z, right? Who doesn't love this? And right now they've had loyal fans, bro, since the fucking 90s, bro. I mean, I'm a loyal fan from the 90s of this, right? They got super, like, forget it, stands beyond stands. But it takes so long to draw these, to make them in production. This, people don't understand that. Like, you have to literally draw these things. Yeah, there's a lot of things, a lot of things that could be reused and just, you know what I'm saying, and they could alter it. But there's a lot of stuff that has to be done. So when you have these episodes and you got these high like level animation, that's mind blowing stuff, especially the fighting, what you're trying to create, it takes a while. So I could imagine for that too. Avatars, that's a lot of CGI, right? That's almost all CGI and shit.
Pretty much. So yeah, I mean, did he wait too long to put this shit out? I guess we'll find out.
Also, the pandemic slowed shit down.
Yeah, but so the argument to that is, a lot of movies have been flopping lately. We haven't really had a lot of good, solid content when it comes to movies. You have like big movies.
That's why they repeating all the, you know what I'm saying, the old school, all these new vibe heads. Yeah. It's not broke, it's not fixed. You know what I mean? Just let's redo fucking Batman 35 times.
So Disney, a lot of their latest movies have been flopping. There's like a new one they put out called Strange World that flopped. They lost like 180 million because nobody went out and saw it. The one before that, Lightyear, just
Buzz Lightyear. That was cool.
Lightyear, yeah.
It was cute.
So they're getting criticized by, like, they're putting a lot of woke agenda messaging behind it.
Bro, they just I saw some shit. I don't know how real it is or the details, but with Dragon Ball Z, bro. They're gonna put some Dragon Ball Z project out. Disney.
Yeah, well, we'll see. But going back to like a lot of people, have been hesitant to go back to the movies. But look at movies like Top Gun Maverick. That should kill that.
Out.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, I just saw it. I mean, I didn't see it, but maybe they re-released it. Or Spider-Man, the last Far From No Way Home. It made bank at the box office. So people are still going out. They're just being selective what they're going out to spend their money on. I saw Wakanda twice. Once, me and just dudes, just guys and shit. Yeah. And then my son was like, "Yo, I want to go watch that." We actually he wanted to watch that, but we were on the way to the theater yesterday, and we thought we were gonna watch Puss in Boots, right? But that shit don't come out to the end. So he's like, "Oh, let's go watch Wakanda." And I saw it again, so it was like fresh in my head. That shit was fire. A lot of mourning. It was good. I like a lot of mourning.
It was sad.
I don't know if it was so necessary to fucking like kill the queen too, but like, wow, really?
Spoiler alert.
I mean, come on, bro. This shit is out already a month already. But everyone's seen this shit somehow.
Spoiler alert.
But yeah, man. So I don't think it was a necessary kill. But
do you think they should have recasted him? Because that's a big argument right now. Like, a lot of people that didn't like the movie. No, T'Challa. Because Chadwick Boseman passed away.
Well, now they have his son. So this is
I know that for
the spoiler alert
for the future. But do you think that the movie needed the actual character of Black Panther, T'Challa, to be recasted?
No, I don't think it was really necessary.
Okay.
I think that the reason why people talk like, or whatever, you're not really seeing great reviews about it is because it's so slow. And, although we live in a super sensitive society, the grieving, people don't want to really see people grieve.
Do you think
that shit is on your own? You know what I mean?
Do you think they did him justice?
Yes, that's why it took so long. You know what I mean? That's why this was so necessary. That's why in the beginning, even before they put the credits up, right? I mean, not the credits, but even before the opening credits,
it's all
they
him. It's all
had
footage
it's
of
all
him.
like about him, but even that whole segue into that, they're talking about like just what's going on, and so you had to pay that homage to him. But again, just the people, they don't want to deal with the grieving, bro. They rather you do that shit by yourself. And
Do you like how they use his sister to take the mantle for now?
yeah, and it's funny because they showed hints of that, of her brilliance when he was, even when he was around. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it wasn't like out of nowhere she's a fucking brainiac and she's brilliant, she's courageous.
She was always brilliant, but she
So
wasn't like a warrior.
no,
That's
but
the thing. So a lot of, listen,
yeah,
I liked it. I'm not hating on it. I thought it was dope. But I'm saying what some of the feedback is from everyone, like not just the positive feedback, but like people that were a little not so happy with how the movie turned out.
so
But overall, it's all overall it's positive.
yeah,
I'm
it's
saying
more
like
positive than
little nitpicky things, like, you know, she's not really a warrior. Like she doesn't have hand-to-hand combat skills like that. Because she was the labs, you know, she was the lab rat. She was a
yeah,
scientist.
but that we know of as well.
Right.
Because remember, I think that martial arts training is part of their
Part of
rituals,
their
way
it's
of
part of
life. You know what I mean? Like
it's part of being
like
part of their tribe and shit.
I guess without being crazy, but what just popped in my head. Do you remember when Coming to America, right?
They were training with the
When he was training with six
yeah,
paws,
yeah,
but that
with
was
the
he wasn't
staffs.
a warrior, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he still
So it's part of like their day to day.
their regimen and shit. So I just to be skillful with the sword, right? So I think yes, because one thing they did exaggerate on, although yes, they did take a lot of Namor's energy and his power. But this is a person who was around for what, centuries, right? He was around for centuries. He lived centuries. Yeah.
Maybe decades.
Nah, bro.
He
I
was
think
around.
1400s.
He was
1400s.
Oh, the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah.
So, right, this is a guy who is probably so skilled in in the arts of fighting. Like, quick segue back to Black Adam, right? Not the movie, but when the movie came out, it got me just so hyped to shit. I started reading about stuff with him, right? And there's an issue in the comic books where this is how ill Black Adam is, bro. He leveled down, said Shazam, went to mortal level to shoot the fair one with fucking Batman. And you know that dude, Vandal Savage, right? From the comics, right? He is such a skilled fighter. The martial arts he learned is like unquestionable, bro. Like nobody could fuck with it. He fucks everybody up, bro. Or nobody takes him down, right? That was an offshoot of what Black Adam, because remember, Black Adam has been around for centuries, you know what I mean? So his fighting art, so he's so ill, he leveled down to mortal level for Batman, the fair one.
And he fucked them up.
And it appeared to end as a fair, right?
Stalemate.
But this is, yeah, because you know how like in a comic book, you'll have the little boxes, right? So in the box, it was like kind of Batman narrating in his mind. And he's like, so it appeared that we're evenly matched, but it just appears that way because I have 3 broken ribs and he looks unfazed.
Oh, shit.
Right? So it was like that. Anyway, so Black Adam respected him so much and was like, you know what? You know how Shazam could share powers, right? He offered the fucking Shazam powers to Batman. And Batman was going to touch. And he's like, no, thank you.
Oh, shit.
Such I don't know.
That's a real G. Yeah, Black Adam, you know who I like? I like Dr. Fate. His character was sick. His powers were dope too. And I heard his powers wasn't like full from like the comics and shit like that. Like he could do way crazier shit than what he did in the movie.
Yeah. I think he's definitely, they played him down a lot because I think he's crazy OP. He's definitely OP.
You think he's more powerful than Doctor Strange? Because they're kind of similar. They're like
I
They like,
think Doctor
they
Strange.
use like magic and shit like that.
I think Doctor Strange, in the movies, they didn't really speak to how powerful he really is either. But back to like why I had segued Black Adam is that you have Namor who's that talented, bro, in the fighting arts, right? Like Black Adam on a regular hand-to-hand. And again, what they said, supposedly within water or around water, has the strength of Hulk, right? Of a Hulk. And then outside of that, he has the strength of Thor, right? Which is retarded to me because Thor is, I think, just as powerful as the Hulk, bro. Like, I don't know. I think those comparisons were really bad. But anyway, only thing I can chalk it up to is that she has the suit, right?
And the herb. She ate the herb.
But he has the herb too. He ate the herb, the raw shit, bro. Like one of the first ones underwater. That's why all his people ate the herb. You know that, right?
Right.
So they all have some kind of superhuman strength. That's why they said it. Oh, they're all super strong. So I don't think they all per se eat the herb, but being that they all come from that lineage of being from the herb and living underwater, they have that super extra strength anyway. And they got that fucking mating call. That shit is crazy.
They were like mermaids.
Yeah, son. That shit is.
It was dope. I want to see it again. I definitely want to see it again. I'm glad that Ryan Coogler, because again, people were upset that Namor wasn't exactly like what the comics depicted it, because in the comics he's a little more like Asian-y. But now they cast it.
Hey, why they hating on the Chicanos, eh?
And so I just want to say, like, when it comes to like representation, like Latinos don't really get. What do we get? We get gangbangers, we get inmates, we get drug dealers. We don't really get like a positive superpower protagonist. So I was happy that Ryan Coogler decided to cast.
Listen, on top of that,
people of Mexican heritage to play.
Not even Mexican, because they didn't even say Mexican.
No, I'm saying in real life, Latino to portray those people.
But they said the Mayans, like they went
the Mayans,
in, you know what I mean? Which is beautiful, bro.
Right, which in real life kind of has a history.
The original tongue, the whatever that shit.
God, they call him that serpent god, Kukulkan.
Yo, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But so it was dope that that they showed some of that,
We've been watching The Office. We've been watching The Office.
Check for that? Bit. Oh, you back to that?
That's promote Peacock.
It's timeless, man.
I love The Office. So funny because the shit that Michael Scott would say in that show is so inappropriate. It's like shit that wouldn't fly nowadays. Like you'll get canceled for the type of shit that he would say in that show. Yeah. And it was so funny. It was so funny.
You know
what? Like today, everybody's so sensitive now. You know what I mean? Whatever.
Oh, I think
another story for another day.
I think that deserves a whole episode. What I just recently saw with wifey, what we saw Wednesday. Did you see that? Or the Addams Family shit? That shit was fire, bro. I mean, the only thing, I'm not gonna lie, it was a whole Stranger Things, right? Meets the Addams Family, right?
Yeah.
So a little bit of the Addams Family, like but she is trapped into like a Stranger Things concept. You know what I mean? Like the kind of monsters, and there's an underworld, and then there's like a us against them, kids creating friendships, all of this stuff, kids dying, all of that. So it's very Stranger Things.
So it's like dark? It's like dark type of shit?
With a tinge of comedy and like teen, like because they're college kids. So it's like,
I don't know if I'm interested in shit like that. The last show that I saw was
Did you like Stranger Things?
Yeah.
If you like Stranger Things, you're like that.
Yeah.
It was like
that. Stranger Things is like a mega hit. You know what I mean? Like
that shit is fire.
It's a well-crafted show, but I don't know. Maybe I'll check it out. But the last show I saw was this show on Prime called The Terminal List. It's based on these novels.
Is
it's
that
about it's with Chris Pratt. No, it's with Chris Pratt. It's with Chris Pratt, and he's like a Navy SEAL, and they send him on his mission, and it was a setup. They got ambushed, and then he starts unraveling like what's going on behind the scenes. Like they're trying to kill him, his family gets killed, and like the whole show is about him getting revenge on the people that did that shit to him. And bro, like super highly trained Navy SEAL, just catching bodies left and right. But the way they did it was just like, it was realistic. Like it wasn't like some just popcorn action movie. You know what I mean? Like, it's a really good show. I definitely recommend that.
Yo, we are old school, new vibes. Yo, Logan, where you at, son? What the fuck, bro?
Checked out. So yeah, we're gonna. This was just like a little catch up episode.
Word, man, it was fun, man.
We'll get back on the.
Yo, we can still talk. We still got. We can still talk and shit. Still talk.
Might as well just record
shit.
it. Might as well just record all the conversations.
Yeah, everything, son. Live with cameras on.
So follow us on Instagram.
Yo,
Old School New Vibes. YouTube. Audio platforms.
Word up.
Check out that audio.
Yeah, son.
All that shit.
Do that.
All right, y'all. Happy holidays. God bless. Be safe.
Bless.
All right. Peace, y'all.
Peace.
Laters.
Old school, new school, need to learn though.